My name's Shannon. I am diagnosed with a terminal genetic disease called vascular Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Pretty rare, makes me pretty special. I was pretty sick as a kid, had a lot of issues, but doctors never thought to connect any of the dots together. Until I had two of my daughters, I started to become incredibly ill. My bowels stopped working, my organs started herniating. It led to one surgery after the next. We just hit 3 weeks ago today, our 40th surgery in about 12 years. I have hit rock bottom 1,000 times. I have cried. I have been angry, frustrated, every single emotion I think you could possibly feel. And in turn, I think the darkest emotions that I felt made me feel weaker than the disease has ever made me feel. And it took time to get there. It took time to learn that. I have had probably about 90% of my surgeries been told that they're gonna fix the problem. It's gonna get this organ working. It's gonna get this part of your body moving. You're gonna get to a normal life. Even while living with the terminal disease, you're gonna be able to find stable ground. To waking up and realizing it didn't work. They were devastating moments and heartbreaking, and you see yourself in a light that you feel is diminished and that you shouldn't be proud of the body that you're in because it is fragile. And when you feel like you are living your life and you're doing all these other things with work or with children, however you're progressing your life as a human being, and then when you're constantly finding out that no matter how healthy of a life you're living or the surgeries or the movements that you're taking to try to create a life to live in longer, they don't work. So through that, I have learned the lowest moments have made me stronger. And I have tried to find the good in every situation. I was once told to be angry at everything in life and demand that I be fixed, and I don't think that was the best thing. I've been that angry person. When I was first told I was terminal, I was mad and pissed off, not even directly at anybody, it's just myself. And that was probably harder than anything else, is no matter what good I did in the world, no matter what I did, I was never good enough for my own body to hold me upright, to keep me walking forward. And that struggle of just emotional that you can't ever get on top of was the hardest thing to ever find acceptance in, but I did. I would cry and cry in a corner, and then I realized that this terminal illness was literally my life now. All I did every day, I would work and then I would go cry in my car. I would see my kids and put on a face, and then I would go hide behind a wall and be pissed and angry. So there wasn't any life that I was living anymore. I was allowing it to take my body before it had already taken everything. And I woke up and I said, okay, so what? If I have a day, if I have a year, I'm gonna keep fighting and I'm gonna keep walking. And every single step that I took made me feel stronger and more proud of every single step I took, because otherwise, what was worth staying in the body? What was worth living? What was worth walking anymore for? I have since added a puppy, as you can see, which is one of my many things my life has continued to live. I have had challenging moments and hard moments that have taught me, and with 40 surgeries come more than 40 scars. Hardest times, happiest times, and I've used them to look at every single time that I look at my body and I see a scar. Instead of being embarrassed or ashamed of it, I look at it and know that that was one of the toughest moments that I've had. And then I go to another surgery and I say, well, that was the toughest moment I have. So every day that I have where emotions have gotten to me, I can look at myself and I can see a scar and say, you know what? You thought that was the toughest day and you're still here today. And they're reminders of strength and overcoming emotion and challenges in life. And they're things to be proud of. They're beautiful, but they're also marks of strength and encouragement for yourself. I feel like scars come and go, you know, with emotions. Some days you're more proud of them. Some days they're used as tools. Some days they're used as, you know, a way for somebody else to connect to you because you shared maybe a similar surgery, but they're not anything to be ashamed of. I had an ileostomy for a while, and by hiding it gave it power, but instead of exposing what was attached to my body and that it was giving me life and trying to give myself life through it, I owned it. You have to own the body you have. You don't have to think that every single moment is your strongest moment, because we're human. We're gonna be weak. We're gonna cry. You should break in those moments, because in turn, you free them so that way you can keep walking and moving. You can't walk in feet that are too heavy to move through. You have to allow sometimes that weight to fall off, and that takes being vulnerable, and it takes moving and having moments in order to keep progressing through it. So I have a terminal illness. I have things that I can't change. My body is dying internally and externally, but what I can control is my mind with the best moments that I can. And so for me, before having this illness, never felt beautiful and felt like I wasn't the perfect image. But in turn, now that I have my scars, I've been given confidence for how hard I can fight and the courage that I can gain through my scars and through my battles, because they are they've developed the body that I'm in. So it doesn't matter what disease is running through my body. I am constantly reminded that my courage, my confidence, my strength that I have, I've gained and earned myself through what I've gone through. And for me, that's what makes me beautiful. And that's what makes me feel beautiful, are reminders. My name's Shannon, and in this body, I am beautiful.